Make it special, make it Maloney.
This segment of the Port Jeff Pulse is sponsored by Houndstown in Port Jefferson, home to the happiest dogs on earth. Maureen, I told you we would see each other. Yes. I told you I'd have you on.
I know. I'm so
excited. I'm always a man of my word, or I try to
know.
be. I last saw you at Pink Tie, right?
Yes.
We had a grand old time.
Yes.
Turns out that we know I saw a lot of people there. I know it was such a great event, and I saw a lot of people I hadn't seen in a long time. I had a great time. But I know, of course, Matt Anthony.
Yes, where my son works now.
Where your son works. So that's cool. You probably go to every show in the world now if you want to. If you want to.
Right. If I have time to, yes. They're wonderful. And my son interned with them, and now that he graduated, as our kids graduated from college, and we saw each other, that was amazing. Now he works there full time, so he's so excited. He loves it.
It's a great industry, right?
It is.
Very exciting. I'm excited for some of the Jones Beat. I might go see Frampton Saturday because Frampton is the man.
I am going to go to as many as I can, and really the VIP tickets, for a little bit more, you get so much. So I'm telling all my colleagues about it.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
So colleagues, MTN Matchmaking.
Yes.
I assume that stands.
Maureen, Tara Nelson.
That's right. How long have you been doing it?
16 years.
Are you kidding me?
No.
So tell us your reason for starting that matchmaking service. You said you had something very personal, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I was a pharmaceutical rep,
Mm-hmm.
and I was married with 2 young kids, and we learned about different personality styles, and I realized I was in a marriage that was presented with controlling behavior, narcissism, and all of that. So
sounds like me.
So
do you know that all men have a tinge of that? We're going to get into that later.
No, they don't.
We're going to get into that. We're going to get into
Believe me.
that. All right. So maybe this was to the extreme.
The good thing is they made us experts on that. So I noticed, oh my goodness, I'm married to that. And then once I noticed that, and my mother was in heaven. I get signs from my mother in heaven all the time. So the next month, a dating service opened on Long Island. So I said, this is my calling so that no one ever has to go through what I have gone through. And my family, they thought I was crazy to give up pharmaceuticals to go into an industry on Long Island that, it was the first time dating services came to Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
So that was 16 years ago. And my mentor was fabulous. He taught me everything.
Wow, that's exciting.
And then the last 11 years, I opened up my own business, and all those other companies went out of business. So now, thankfully for me, it's only me on Long Island.
That is awesome.
Yeah, very exciting.
So you started in the industry before the advent of the computer and the technology did it.
Yes.
Your feeling is this is a very real, personal, human service.
You're getting the personal touch.
What do you try to do for? And by the way, who are your clients? Is it single men and women?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So I have 2,000 of the best clients on Long Island and Manhattan that have all passed a thorough screening process.
Mm-hmm.
So I do a criminal felony background check in every single state. Everyone on Long Island, I meet with them personally, so I know they're a nice, decent, quality, positive person, emotionally stable, financially stable, and looking for a committed relationship. So obviously I'm not for everyone, and I can't be. And that's what other services try to do, be for everyone. But I always knew I wanted that particular niche, and so it's worked very well for me over the years.
So I'm intrigued by this whole process. Give me, for example, like maybe a success story in the last 60 days, and tell me what that looks like, typically on Long Island.
Okay. Well, I mean, almost every day we have some sort of success story, so it's very exciting where we work. But something just so funny, because I'm working with a girl now that she went out with a guy once, and I have a whole list of do's and don'ts that everyone hopefully abides by, because this makes dating easy and fun. So she went out on the first date with a guy who's very handsome, super compatible to him, and that's my specialty, which I learned in my pharmaceutical days, matching people up based upon compatibility. But you also need chemistry, too. I can't control that.
That's right.
But I know subjectively they looked great together. So after the first date, she said, he's repulsive, not going out with him again. And we said, He's not repulsive. He's handsome. That's why we suggest 3 dates. So then she went out, I mean, really begrudgingly, she went on the second date. And then she's like, you know what, he is a little bit better. And I said, well, go on the third date and give me a call. So she went on the third date, and then she's like, wow, it really is like a light bulb goes off after a third date, and they're on hold together. She now sees him as handsome as he is.
Wow.
Because when I meet with someone for an hour, they're very different than when I first meet them in 5 minutes. So clients will just see a photo and a bio. They might instantly want to say no. But I'm encouraging them to say yes because I'm meeting with them for an hour. I'm getting to know them. And when you get to know someone face to face, they really do become more attractive to you, obviously if they're a great quality person, and all of my clients are. So I usually say to my clients, you need to trust and go out and say yes 90% of the time rather than just looking at a photo and saying an easy no, because there's so much more to just a photo.
That's really amazing process. So the story to this particular,
Yes.
are there a couple now?
Yes. Yes.
And is that the ultimate goal, by the way?
Yes.
And
They're living together.
So the idea is for long-term committed relationships under your service.
Yes.
I'm just asking because,
Yeah.
I mean, and then do you have a repeat customer? Do you have guys that like?
Yes, sometimes people have to renew.
They want a
'cause
date or whatever.
I have 4 different programs. So sometimes if someone's very young, they might not want my dating coaching. So to keep the cost down, we make it a smaller program, say 6 months. 6 months goes by like this. So they'll try it out and they'll see, oh, wow, this is really great. I'm meeting people that aren't in the bars. They're not on the internet. They're coming to me because they want to raise the bar. So in 6 months, they're not in a committed relationship yet, but they're meeting people that they've never met before. So they just have to renew at that point. So we get a lot of repeat business.
So it's so funny when people see you out in a social atmosphere, friends or acquaintances or business people.
Right.
That must be kind of exciting for you because life does change and
Yes.
people's marital status changes and
Right.
things like that. For example, you have Father's Day coming up now,
Yes.
right? And we talked about like the single fathers that might be out there
Yep.
and the ability for them to, I guess, use your service and find new relationships, right?
Right.
Do you have something special going on for Father's Day?
Yes, we have a Father's Day special because we really appreciate, and all my female clients appreciate when a man is a fantastic father. So to honor that and to honor them, it's a simple contest. Someone can nominate themselves or you can nominate a friend. As long as the guy is single, passes the screening processes, and is a great father, you just have to email in his photo and why he is such a great father. And we are choosing a
Excellent.
winner for free membership during the whole entire summer. So it's baby steps because it's a little different to come in through a contest than it is to say, you know, I'm sick of the dating scene. I'm coming in, help
Right,
me. This
right.
is different. So it's baby steps and it's not so intimidating for them, but yet they're going to be meeting great quality women that are good for their kids to see. Because kids really do want to see their parents happy
Yeah,
and
they
in
do.
love
Yeah.
rather than, you know, with the internet, God knows what you're getting.
Yeah.
And you don't involve that with your children, God forbid.
No,
'Cause
you
I'm
don't.
the one that hears the stories about that every day. It's quite frightening out there.
It is, right?
Yes.
All right.
To put it
Well,
bluntly, it's frightening.
You must hear and see
Oh,
just about
yes.
anything. So you try to be way above that in a notch in your quality matchmaking.
Yes.
Run me through the business aspect of it. If I'm a single woman or male, I can retain your services?
Yes.
Okay.
It's always a free consultation.
Yep.
Because I'm not a salesperson. So, say if you go to a place in Manhattan, there's 50 other matchmakers. I have an office in Manhattan as well. You're not meeting with the owner of the company. You're meeting with the salesperson that wants your money. This is different. I give everyone a free consultation where they can feel comfortable to see if they feel comfortable with me helping them. But really, it's more for me to see if I think I could help them. If I don't think I could help them, I won't take their money. And I say it in such a nice, gentle way that they don't know.
They
They're
don't even
not-
know.
They're like, thanks so much.
Thanks so
and of
much.
course, I give them free advice
I was
and
going to
free
say,
dating
they
coaching.
impart with
I-
knowledge.
Yes, I might even say, okay, did you go to counseling? I think you should do that. I believe everyone should be in counseling.
Fantastic.
Really, it's a wonderful thing. So,
Okay, so the idea is, so let's pretend I'm single and I'm looking for a match.
Yeah.
I come to you. Hopefully, you think I'm a pretty good guy. You say to me, Kev, we're gonna help you.
Right.
And I now become a client.
Yes.
And I go. It's a yearly membership.
It's different. We have 6 months
Okay.
up to 2 years.
Okay,
yes.
so it's some type of membership and a
Right.
fee is applied. Great. And then you impart on me particular matches that make sense.
Yes,
You
that
do
are-
that personally or not through a
Yes,
computer? It's excellent.
personally. Now, other services, you can buy a Dating Pro program for $450. You can join, say, a company that will teach you how to do that. To me, that's just an expensive internet. I do hand-selected matches
Right.
on Mondays. In fact, last night, I was up till 2 in the
You
morning.
were busy yesterday, yes.
And so Mondays and Tuesdays are 15, 18-hour days for me, but I love it. So I'm certainly not complaining. It's my life. My children are my life.
That's so awesome.
This is next. So till 2:15 in the morning, I finished, and then I'm up at 6 every morning. And now that I'm starting to date myself, or going to, the first part of that, as I always recommend to people, is to get into shape yourself, really fine-tune yourself so that you feel the best
Feel
you
your
can
best
be.
self, yeah.
So I have a trainer, James, that comes to my house Tuesdays and Thursday mornings, 7 to 8 a.m. So I'm working on 4 hours sleep. That was the point of all that.
Well, you look great for 4 hours
you.
sleep. You look fantastic.
you.
So let's take yourself. So you'll put
Yes.
yourself through the same exact
Yeah.
process,
Yep.
kind of a thing. All right. So the example is, hey, Kevin, I think you'd be a great match for this woman.
Yes.
And that woman you've already pre-screened.
Yes.
And you suggest a date, but you suggest 3 dates.
Yes. But also, it's not just because she, say, is the most beautiful girl I have. It's based upon
Interest.
not 1, not 2, but 3 parts of compatibility, which is my own system that I developed over the years
Okay.
from my mentor that taught me everything 16 years ago. I took that and adapted it to my own private program that no one knows how to do that but me. So.
Good. Proprietary stuff. That's our ferry. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, yes. Such a beautiful setting
3
here.
for leaving. Thank you so much.
That's why I'm wearing all white. Just
Oh,
for the
you are wearing white
atmosphere.
because you heard about our Danfords
Yes,
Friday,
on
this Friday.
Yep.
En Blanc party, and it's
Yes.
nothing more than I think they call it short of a reunion party. It's going to be right in this room, I believe. And you're going to come?
Yep.
You should come. And
Yes, I'm
by the way, this
still
is a
out
good
on
question.
social media.
Do you find potential clients
That's-
at social events?
That's why
the
I'm
number
out
one
there.
reason.
Yeah,
That's
because
really cool.
I have my 4th program is called an elite program, where I do what's called targeted recruiting for them. So even though I have 2,000, like I said, of the best
Mm-hmm.
of the best singles, when I'm out anywhere from 1 to 3 times a week, people always come up to me and say, "Oh, I've seen you around. What's it like to be a matchmaker?" And if they're single, I get to know them. So say a great quality guy, maybe he's never thought to call me up on the phone because he felt weird about it.
Yeah.
But he meets me in person, and I'm doing targeted recruiting then for my women. So after talking to him for 10 minutes, I know who I think, just by my intuition, who he might be great for. So I'll tell him a little bit about that person, and typically that person wants to come in right away to meet them. So it's not because I'm a party animal that I'm out all the time. It's really to build my business with other great quality colleagues and people in the Long Island area that
Yeah,
are
that's true.
really looking for a committed relationship.
I mean, bluntly, it's your inventory, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it is,
Yes.
and that's the business you're in.
Yes.
Can we talk about the number 1 or 2 mistakes made on a first date?
Okay, yes.
And I'll give you an
Yes.
example. My aunt, who's not by any means young, but she goes on dates. God bless her. But she once told me she went to a date. They met at Starbucks, which is
Oh,
probably
never.
typical.
Nope, never.
But not so much that they met at Starbucks, but the guy didn't pay for
That's
well, it's not
awful.
75 cents there. It's $2. He
Right.
didn't pay for a coffee, and I said,
yes.
you don't need that at all. But
It's
you don't
just
like the
an-
Starbucks meeting to begin with?
Yes, it's just the typical internet story that men, and I hate to generalize, but
No, that's all right.
they don't want to put that much of an investment in because they're already telling themselves this might not work out.
Yes.
Well, guess what? It's not going to work out.
Because in other words, they can walk into a Starbucks, have that cup of coffee, and then leave.
And they're out.
Yeah.
Now, also on the flip side of that, just say if that's me, I'm not going to get all dolled up to walk into Starbucks. I'm not going to be presenting my best image.
Right. It might even look out of place.
Of course. But that's internet dating because most men like to fool around. They like to date multiple people. It's a small investment to get to know, is this person good for me to, say, fool around with?
Yep.
Now, I say that because when a man really wants a committed relationship and he wants to raise the bar, he's not going to do internet dating because it's too time consuming. And it's a waste of a man's time to go on 100 dates to find one normal person.
Right.
I hear that all the time. Or plus, for men, they might date or meet a lot of gold diggers, whereas a gold digger can't even afford to come into a matchmaking service, even though I have 4 programs and they're affordable if you're financially stable. But I don't like the Starbucks idea because it is too internet. So I recommend that everyone goes out either for a drink or 2 maximum during the week, or preferably lunch or brunch on the weekend for about an hour to an hour and a half.
Okay.
And that's all, and everyone gets a list of guidelines of dating tips, do's and don'ts, because everyone hates dating now.
What happened to the world?
It's crazy. I hear the horror stories all the time. But if you follow this, we make it so
What about a
easy.
movie? To me, a movie's great
Well,
because
not
then
for a first date, though.
no, right? Because then
can't talk.
the focus is on the movie.
Right. And, you're just getting to know that person for the first time. So
Yeah.
here, if you go out to lunch, say this would be a perfect
This
place.
is a perfect place.
Perfect. And you only meet for an hour to an hour and a half, because the second mistake, so the first mistake people make is that they just say, let's go for coffee.
Right.
Not
Trying to say
realizing.
get it quick and
Quick, cheap.
got it.
No one's going to impress anyone
Okay.
over coffee. The second mistake is people self-sabotage themselves, and they'll go on a first date and they'll try to find things wrong. Because if they find things wrong,
So
they
they're
can
going
say,
for the elimination.
yeah, and they'll think, oh, good, I don't like him.
Oh,
Oh,
thank
that's such
God,
a
let's move
relief.
on, yeah.
Meanwhile, you're defeating the whole purpose.
Right.
So in the guidelines we have, you have to find 5 great things about that person. And still, even with this, people will call me and say, yeah, I wasn't really that impressed with him. So I'll say, did you look for the 5 great things? Oh, no, I forgot. Okay, so what were 5 great things about him? She'll list 5 great things. And I'll say, don't you
Then
think
it
that
starts to
warrants a
build a
second
little.
date? Yeah. So people don't even realize they're doing it, but everybody does it unless it's in their head cognitively. Stop doing that. You're doing it subconsciously.
Yeah, so it's a real
Focus on,
training, yeah.
yes, focus on finding 5 great things, and then it's much better.
So, no quick Starbucks.
Right.
Try to find the
Yep. 5
positive
great things.
attributes of the
Yeah.
other person. What else is a mistake that somebody would make in today's dating
Okay.
world?
It's very common that people will talk about sex on a first date.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's almost rude.
It's very rude. But if that person is just, say, looking to date and he wants sex, maybe on the 3rd date, of course he has to test that person out and he has to feel them out. So he'll say little innuendos to see if they'll bite. Whereas I would kill any of my men if they ever did that. And they would never do it because it's in the don'ts. Don't talk about religion, sex, politics on a first date, ever.
Sex politics. Wow. Do you give him pointers on what to talk about?
Yeah.
Because
They
that's hard sometimes. I mean, what if he starts talking about her mother or something and he doesn't even know?
Well, you're supposed to talk about each other's interests, just because also, too, when I'm matching someone,
Interests
they're
and
compatible.
experiences. Okay.
Yeah. And you already have the basis of knowing you're compatible in 3 different ways. So then it's easy because that's the hardest thing to find, compatibility. And you have to be compatible and have chemistry for a relationship to work and last.
Right.
Chemistry we can all do. We can walk in a bar and find
Natural.
someone good looking. That's done. But compatibility, statistically, only 3% of people are compatible. That's why the
Did you say 3 or 30?
3%. That's why the divorce rate is so high.
What is the divorce rate?
Oh, it's over 50%.
It's over 50.
Yeah, it's just, again, the core is compatibility. But that's what I was trained on. So every one of my clients, they'll be about 30% compatible to everyone
Gotcha.
just because of the screening process. Everyone's the same.
Yep, has to be. Yep. Do people? This is a heavy question, but
Okay.
do people change during their life?
Yes, if you meet in
If you
high
meet
school-
somebody in your 20s or in high schools,
Right. If you meet in high school childhood sweethearts, they're the highest level of divorce, because think of how hard it is to grow and to both grow in the same direction
Very
and to
hard.
stay compatible. People do it, God bless them. Again, it's harder, but it's fantastic if it does work.
yeah, it is.
Sometimes it does work.
Yeah.
But at a certain age, say 25, you basically have your core values instilled in you that you should be basically the same. So
Right.
we start at 21 in matching people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So every one of your clients is 21 and over.
21, and my oldest guy is 87.
Really?
Yeah,
How's he
love
doing?
him. He even renewed with me. Love him.
So he loves you.
He's Harold. He is Jewish, and he lives in, well, I shouldn't say that, but he lives in the North Shore. So, ladies, if you're in your 70s and you would like a great quality Jewish man who is very active, goes into the city all the time, just call me for Harold. He's great.
So you have guys that like the arts. You have guys that they like to drink beer. I mean, that's so incredible that there's so many lines to match up on.
Right. Well, that's
But that's the
what I do.
magic of what you
Right,
do.
Yes. And that's why if you do the internet, a computer's doing that for you. You know, any problems, questions.
I really love. I never knew this. I'm so glad you're on. Now I want to ask you a question because I am a married man of 28 years. Therefore,
That's great.
There.
Congratulations.
Not perfect, but
Nothing is perfect.
the numbers
Nothing.
themselves speak to themselves.
Yes.
That yes, it's been absolutely wonderful. We have 4 children. But question to you is: do you ever talk to men about making that marriage feel new again, or tips on that?
I'm also a dating coach to
See
my
that?
clients, so I think that's what you're asking. So yes, I do work with a lot of my clients that are engaged that will call me up when they have troubles.
I guess what I'm getting at is, and I'm guilty of this because I'm a very honest person. I went to dinner with my wife a couple of months ago, and I was looking at the phone more than I should.
Oh, no.
And it was horrible, and I felt
No.
bad.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing.
Right. Unless you're a heart surgeon, there's no need to
Oh, I
do
like
that.
that. Yeah.
And I have the top 3rd heart surgeon in Manhattan as a client.
Right. And even he wouldn't look at the phone unless there was an emergency. So that's a no-no. Do you tell people in your guidelines, put that thing in your pocketbook?
Of
because
course, yeah.
it's such a
It's in
babysitting
the-
thing. Like
it's
if
in
you
the
feel
do's and
distance,
don'ts.
and I feel with young people,
Right.
I don't even know how you deal with 21-year-olds because and if they get bored for 3 seconds,
Right.
they're pulling this out.
I
You
know.
know I'm right on this.
I
right?
know.
It's
I know.
so crazy.
It's a different generation for sure, and it takes more coaching, but yet I have to keep the price as low as possible for them.
Yes.
So that means it doesn't include dating coaching. So what I usually do, because I feel so bad that they need my help, is
They need your help.
I say, just email me whenever you can, and I'll give you free dating coaching. As long as I don't have to pick up the phone.
Yeah, 'cause it's time.
And
Time
call
is money,
you.
sure.
You know, if I wake up at 3 in the morning, I check my emails and I could answer.
But the idea of dating etiquette, even for people that have been married 20, 30, 40 years, I think is important because of this device today.
It's
and
changed
because of
everything.
distraction.
Yeah.
And I just think it's something that's running away with the human race right now,
Yes.
honestly.
I know.
And so real relationships are based on interest and paying attention to one another.
And if you're compatible, you don't have to worry about chemistry going. Because once you have chemistry, it's there, unless, of course, there's a huge dynamic that changes. But
Sorry
for
about
the most part, compatibility will stay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're compatible, you can work through anything. You know, and with this day and age with the phones, you can say to your wife, you know what, I'm really sorry, but I have a show tomorrow, and that's why I was on the phone. But you're right, I
As long as you're
shouldn't be on
honest.
the phone.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and it's communication.
Right. So, and that's where I was going. Communication is huge
Yes.
in all relationships,
Yeah.
even if it's uncomfortable.
Yes, and I know when I'm interviewing someone, the biggest thing I learned from my mentor was, if you're thinking it, say it. So there's many times people come into me, and I'll never take someone's money and tell them what they want to hear. If I think there's something that has to be addressed, I'll address it at that moment, but always in a nice, gentle way, because obviously no one wants to hear anything negative or that they have to improve or that they made a mistake. But that's my job to do that.
So give me an example. You might find out that the guy hasn't worked in like 2 years, and you're like,
Well, he wouldn't be financially stable at that moment, so he would wait to come
Right.
in until he is financially stable.
right, because that's one of the promises you
That's
give
just
to
great.
your
Yeah.
women.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. What else can you tell me that's new and different in your industry, or something you're striving to
Well, we're doing
achieve?
we're doing a lot more with helping people that aren't even our clients, so that hopefully if they're not ready now,
Okay.
that in 3 years from now, when they are ready for a committed relationship, they'll remember, oh, Maureen gave me dating tips on social media, so I think I'll give her a chance and come down for the free consultation. So we've kind of changed gears, and it's all about helping people the best way that I can, and the best way I can do that is being out as much as possible, and also with the help of social media. So social media has helped in my business to reach a lot of people and to help them, but where it's bad is obviously for relationships.
Right. Once they're in the relationship, it could get a little scary.
Someone from Facebook, from high school, can like them.
You know what the
on
good
Facebook.
part about the Facebook thing is? I think we're all over that. Remember when Facebook first came out? And
people thought it was a dating app.
yeah, that and when you did get communication, through somebody in high school, you went through this like weird feeling of, oh wow, I used to like this girl. I wonder if this is right from. I think that's all over now. It's like almost everybody you can meet on Facebook, you've done it, you've connected, or disconnected. Right. So I think that's a positive now that it's really become passé. Facebook, it's not become like this exploratory, if you will. So I think it's going to, like you said, be a tool for them. Yes. Look, I think a lot of our listeners love what you're talking about, and I'm going to encourage people to comment, on our particular segment here.
Yes.
If you have questions for Maureen, I think it's really, really valuable. Now that I really understand your service, because I didn't before, I want to tell you that. And I'll see you here Friday.
Yeah.
And if I see some men or women that I know are single, I'm going to single-handedly introduce them to you.
Thank you.
Because I know some folks in this area that can absolutely use your service.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
It's been
great.
Thank
you so much.
Thanks.